I knew her long ago and far away. She was a very young professor at a certain university, one which I attended, in a doomed effort to obtain a PhD. She was very bright. She had attended several very prestigious schools. She was hardly in her 30s, yet already the university and the department had given her a full-time tenure-track position. This, by the way, at a time in our national history when such things are vanishingly rare. So, yes, undoubtedly, her colleagues and the university administration regarded her as quite a catch. But curious thing. Her students did not agree. Oh, she had her fans, even groupies. All professors do. But the opinion among the students in general, and the graduate students in particular, was that she was a woman to be avoided, that she was a bit overbearing, too harsh and grating, and strikingly inflexible in her permitted interpretations of primary and secondary sources. In retrospect, I think that her problem was that she had never really made the transition from student to teacher. When you're a student, you see, your business is to show off, to demonstrate to your professor how very, very smart you are, how thoroughly you command the material. But the role of the teacher is the reverse of that. You aren't in the class now to show people how terribly clever you are, but to make your students shine. You may stand at the podium or sit at the head of the seminar table, but they are the center of your attention, or at least they should be. But, alas, that was just something she couldn't do. Because, don't you see, if she yielded the spotlight to her pupils, well then, she wouldn't be the smartest kid in the room anymore. And that would hurt her. Full disclosure here, she was no friend of mine. Indeed, she was one of the professors who arranged to have me dispatched from the graduate school under, as they say, a cloud. Even so, I did feel some sympathy for her, as I do now. I knew, for instance, that she'd experienced bouts of clinical depression, and I'd had the same, now and then, so I understood. Besides, well, how to put this? I sort of knew where she was coming from. As I say, she was bright. She'd always been bright from the time she was very, very young. But that meant she'd been prematurely adult. Always the little professor. She'd always been rewarded for being smart. By her parents, by her teachers, later by her own instructors in academia. Which, strangely enough, worries me for her. You see, I too have played the wunderkind card. I too have been cast in the role of child prodigy. And here is what I discovered. When you define yourself that way, as the smartest kid in the room, eventually one of two shattering things happens, or in my case, both. The first of these two, which happened to me while I was still an undergraduate, is that no matter how clever you are, no matter how skilled, one day you find yourself in the company of someone or many someones brighter than yourself. And that is jarring. But you can survive it. Indeed, you may regard it as a lesson. It is a positive correction to hubris. What is worse, what is far worse, is possibility number 2. You awaken one morning to realize that no one cares how terribly clever you are. Indeed, the world is indifferent to you. Or to put it another way, you discover that you are indeed the smartest kid in the room. But the room is empty. And what you thought was thunderous applause is actually nothing but the sound of your own voice echoing in the vast and dripping dark, in which you are utterly, totally, completely alone.